Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's good to have you again. In today's tutorial, I'll be sharing how you can make a well-detailed method of how you can draft out a pattern for your shirt collar and how you can attach it to an already made shirt. So for me, the first thing I'm doing in this tutorial is I'm getting my shirt. I already made this shirt. The only thing that is left for me to do to this shirt is to attach my collar to it. So I'm going to be measuring the width of my shirt. So right now I'm placing my shirt so that I can bring in my measuring tape and measure it. Just as you can see, I'm placing my shirt properly so that the area of the neck, which is the area where I'll be attaching the collar, will be well seated before I take my measurement. So the place I'm showing you right now is where you'll be measuring at both the front and the back. That's the neck width for both the front and the back. So I went ahead to measure mine, and what I have for my front is 9 inches, and for my back I have 8 inches. So what I'll be doing is I'll be dividing this measurement by 2, because when I'm cutting on the fabrics I'll be cutting it on fold. So I went ahead to divide the measurement. 9 divided by 2, you have 4.5. 8 divided by 2, you have 4 inches. So I'll be working with 4.5 inches and 4 inches. I'm bringing it close to the camera so you can see what I did. So now I'm introducing my pattern paper, and I'm going to rule a straight line on my pattern paper just like you see me do. Next thing we'll do is to take those measurements that we just got. So I'm going to be taking my front measurement, which is 4.5 first, and then I'll take my back measurement. Before taking this measurement, I left a little space at the end of my paper because we'll be using that later. So having gotten my front measurement, and my back measurement, I'm labeling it as A, middle, and I'm labeling it as B as well. From the point where my front stopped, the 4.5 stopped, I'll start measuring the 4 inches for the back from there. Having done that, I ruled up a straight line at my A, and I'm going to rule up a straight line at my B as well, just like I just did. But I didn't rule a straight line at the middle area. Having done that, let's go straight to the measurements. So from the point where my A is, I'm going to be going up by 1.1 inches on that straight line that I ruled up. I'm going up by 1.1 inches. From the 1.1 inches, I'm going up by 2 inches. So I'm going up by 2 inches, and from the 2 inches, I'm going to go up again by another 1.1 inches. Hope we understand it. 1.1, 2 inches, and another 1.1 inches, just like you see me do. Then I'm going to bring this close to the camera so you can see what I'm talking about. 1.1, 2 inches, and another 1.1 inches. Then at the middle, I'm going to go up by 0.75 inches. So that is what I'm doing, 0.75 inches. Haven't done that, I'm just going to rule a straight line, connect the middle to that 0.75. Though this is not really compulsory, but I'm just doing it so that we can understand it better. Then at B, I'm going to go up by 1.1 inch. Then from the point where I have 1.1 inch, I'm going to go up by another 1.1 inch. So just like I'm doing, I haven't done that. I'm going to be going outside from the second 1.1 at B by 2 inches. So from the point where I have 1.1, I'm going to measure 2 inches outwards. The 2 inches, I'm placing my measuring tape in a slant way. I'm not placing it straight. I'm slanting my measuring tape to take the 2 inches measurement. Just like I'm doing, I just measured it. And I'm going to connect the 2 inches to my second 1.1 at B, just like you see me do. Easy, guys. Okay, now we are done taking all our measurement. The next thing is to connect our points together. So from the middle, I'm going to be connecting to the first 1.1 at B. From the middle, I'm connecting to the first 1.1 at B. Please watch closely so that you can see how I'm connecting mine. It is very simple. Then, having connected that, from the 0.75 I have as my middle, I'm connecting to the second 1.1 at B. That's just like what I just did. Having done that, the next thing I'll be doing is to go to the part where I have my A and connect. So from the first 1.1 I have at A, I'm going to connect it to the 0.75 I have in the middle. just like you see me do right now. Then I'm going to go to that point where I have my 0.75, and I'm going to just curve the line there because it's not supposed to be straight. The next thing I'll do is to connect from the 2 inches at A, I'm going to connect to the second 1.1 at B with my free hand. You can use a curve rule if you have it, but I'm using my free hand to do this so that everyone can do it even if you don't have a curve rule. Then from the second 1.1 at A, I'm going to connect to the 10 inches I measured outside at B, just like I'm doing right now. I hope we understand it. You can use this method to make a collar for any type of shirt. All you need is just the measurement of your neck width for the front and the back. So having connected these, I'm trying to thicken the line so that you can see. The last measurement we are going to be doing, I'm going to be measuring 1 inches from the first 1.1 at B outside, 1 inches outside. Then I'm going to be connecting it with my ruler. Having done that, I'm going to make a curve just like you just see me do. I just made a curve there. Then I went ahead to cut it out. Hope we understand this. This is easy, guys. I went ahead to cut it out. So after cutting, the next thing I'll be doing is introduce my fabric, fold my fabrics, cut it on my fabrics. Then we'll go to joining it. Right now I'm done cutting it and I'm folding my fabrics. The first thing I did is to fold my fabrics into 2. After folding it into 2, I went ahead to fold it again to get it folded into 4. So I have 4 folds here. After folding it, I'm going to be placing that area where I had the measurements. I took the measurements on my pattern paper on the fabrics. I'm going to then pin it down so that when I'm done cutting it, you are going to have it unfold. We are going to have the materials unfold. So I'm pinning it down with my pin before I'll go ahead and cut it. So while cutting it, I'm going to be adding 0.75 inches round my pattern because that 0.5 is going to serve as my measurement for joining. I'm going to be using it to join it. So just like you see me do, when I'm done cutting, you will see what it looks like. Okay, I'm still cutting. I'm done cutting the first part. This is actually the first part we'll be sewing. This is the first part we'll be sewing. Then I'm cutting the other part. This other part is going to be placed on top of the first part that I cut out. We'll see what it comes out, what it will look like when we are done. It's going to come out perfect. Just keep watching. Okay, so now we are done cutting. I'm going to just remove my pins, open it up so that you can see what it looks like. So I'm removing my pin, opening up my fabrics so that you can see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. So we have 2 pieces of fabrics for each of the pattern. This is because I'm going to be using the piece to turn each other so that when it comes out like it's the front part of the fabric. It will not come out on the wrong part. So that is why I cut out 2 pieces for each. So I'm placing the other side too, which will be sitting on the first part, and as you can see, it's also 2 pieces. You can see that area we cut on fold. You see it ended up coming out 1 piece at the end of everything. This is because if I'm to cut this, if I didn't cut it on fold, the fabrics I will be working with will be wide. So I just prefer to do it on fold so that it will be the fabrics I'm cutting. I'll just fold it into 4 and go straight to it. Okay, now I'm done. The next thing I did is to use my iron to iron my stay on it. I use stay to give the collar a thick effect. You can decide to use collar stay, it's also okay. And I went ahead to sew the first part. Those area I'm showing you now, this area I'm showing you now is the area I sewed. Having sewn it, I'm going to be turning it to the front so that you can see what it looks like. But before turning it to the front, I'll be notching the pointed edges so that when I'm turning it out, it can come out perfectly. So now I'm going to notch just like you see me do. Please be careful when notching so you don't cut through above the area where you want to. So now, having notched, I'm going to be turning it to the front. So if I turn it to the front, I'll show you what it looks like before taking it to my iron to iron it. Okay, I'm still turning it. Now I'm done turning it, and as you can see, it's not really sitting perfectly like flat the way I want, so I'll go ahead, iron it and bring it back so you can see what it looks like at the end of the day. Why this is actually taking time is because that point where I notched, I'm trying to use my scissors to drag it out so that it comes out very well, so that the pointed part comes out very well. So that is why it's looking like this. Now I'm done ironing it. As you can see, it's looking more flat and beautiful. The next thing I'll be doing is to place the second part. So watch it, please. Watch how I'm placing it. So now I've placed it. I'm going to flip it over and place the other one I'll be using to turn it. The other part I'll be using to turn it. So as you can see, I'm going to be placing it right now. Okay, after placing, the next thing I'll do is to pin this down. I'm repeating the placement so that you can understand it better. I hope it's clear. Okay guys, please, you can watch this video again so that you understand better, please. This is actually something we can do, right? Okay, so I'm going to pin it down with my pin, then I'll show you where we are going to be stitching, because I'll be taking this to my machine and we'll be stitching. But why stitching? I'm going to be showing you the areas we are going to be stitching, because we are not going to be stitching these two patterns together. We are going to be stitching, there is this area we're going to be stitching differently, which is the ends of this one I'm just placing on top of the first one I made. I hope I'm not confusing you in any way, please. Okay, right now I'm done pinning, and when sewing now, you are going to be sewing the ends of the fabric. You are going to be sewing two of them together. You are going to be sewing two of them together. That two, you are going to sew it together. Sew the down part as well. Sew the down part. For the down part, you are sewing the 4 piece together. But for the sides, you are sewing only the 2 piece together. Only the 2 piece together. But for the down part, you are sewing all the 4 piece together. So I went ahead, took it to my sewing machine, sewed it, and now I'm showing you what it looks like. Oh, that's our collar and it's ready. The next thing we'll be doing now is to just give it a nice press so that it can be flat and beautiful before I'll then attach it to my shirt. Okay, now this is my shirt and I'm going to bring in my collar to attach it to my shirt. So before attaching, I'm going to open up my shirt, get the middle of my neck for the back of my shirt. So I'm folding it into two, then I'm going to give it a notch at the middle area so that it can be easy and you can see it very well when attaching, and it will also make it easier for me to sew the collar on it. So I'm going to also fold my collar into two to get the middle of my collar as well. Just like you see me do, I'm folding my collar into two and then I'm going to give it a notch at the middle. So having notched it, the next thing I'll be doing now is to place my collar. on my shirt. So I'm placing the middle of my collar on the middle of the back of my shirt. But this time I'm taking only one part. I'm not going to sew the two parts at the same time. I'm going to be sewing only one part, and then, as you can see, I'm going to pin it down. Hope you understand. I'm not sewing the two at the same time. I'm only sewing one part to it. So I'm pinning it down so that I can hold it down with my pin, so there will be no movement when I'm stitching. Then I'll go ahead and sew it just like I'm showing you. Sew it on the neck of our shirt. I'll do this for the other side as well. Take it to my machine, bring it back and show you so you see what it looks like. Right now I'm done sewing and this is what it looks like. That's the inner part of our shirt. This is what the front part of our shirt looks like. It's almost ready. Okay, the next thing I'll be doing now is to then close up all the stitches we have there with the other part. So what I'll do is to fold in like 0.25 inch, just like I'm showing you right now. Fold it in just that way. So I'm going to just start from the beginning, then fold it in. So I'm folding it in just like you see me do right now. I'm folding it in and I'll be stitching all the way through, just like I'm showing you. Just stitch it all the way through. It's already looking beautiful. So I'll take this to my machine, stitch it and bring it back for you to see what it looks like. Now I'm done stitching it and the collar is ready and beautiful. Our shirt is looking good already. The only thing left for me to do to this shirt is to attach my button. Isn't this nice, guys? Simple, right? Please, thank you for watching my tutorial today. Kindly subscribe to my channel, like my page and share my videos. Hope to see you again in my next tutorial. Please drop some comments. Let me see what you think of this video so that I can improve. We are both learning together, right? Okay, the next thing I did is to just attach my button to the shirt, and now my shirt is ready. I'd love to see you recreate this. Let's rock it together. Thank you. See you again in my next tutorial where I'll be sharing the easiest way to draft out a pattern for your trouser. Thank you. Bye. See you some other time.